Hey YouTube, what's going on, guys? I know it has been forever. I know. Everybody's like, what? Are you really making a video? SuitNTieMedia, are you making an actual video or is this a joke? Honestly, it's not a joke. I've been trying to get in my little studio again to be able to make a video for you guys, to be able to do something. And to be honest, it has been very difficult. I have no time and I'm just finally starting to get some time back, and I wanted to do this for you guys. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm not by any means done. I just had to situate my life. This is going to be my first video in a while. I will be streaming pretty soon, depending on how much you guys kind of, I don't know, give me some feedback. Let me know you're still hanging around, because I know the people who were around prior to my drought, prior to the fallout of my my everyday stream thing. So basically what this is, I know this is more of a Pokemon channel. I made it that. It used to be a Summoners War channel, and I'm bringing that back a little bit. I've made a couple of Summoners War Let's Play series that never went through because of different things. One, they might have been like just too crazy. I know one of them I tried to build every unit and not fodder anything. That was actually not the best decision at all, because it gave me no freedom, no progression. 12 episodes in, we hadn't cleared anything. So there's gonna be some changes to this one. I know every other famous or large Summoners War YouTubers doing this. I just wanted to know, or just let you guys know that there's a little bit more out there than what meets the eye. First thing being first, a lot of these guys, I watch them too. I'm watching all the Let's Plays, and when they run out, I'm like, darn, there's nobody else to watch. Well, I want to be at least that fill-in person for now, and eventually be able to push ahead. I was pretty lazy with my background, pretty lazy with everything. I know I'm a graphic designer, but I didn't put any time into this. I did decide, because I've had some people make me some little gifts and things, so that's one of them up there. We have another one over there, and then just a little subscribe, just to make it nice and neat. And then put some music in the background. I just wanted you guys to be able to chill and have some fun. These are probably going to be about 20-minute episodes. I'm begging myself this time to do one every single day, so we'll see how it turns out. Excuse me. So we might as well start off. If a commercial pops up, I apologize greatly. YouTube and the music always has commercials going on, so probably going to be a Donald Trump commercial. I have no clue, but we're just gonna make a name right now. We'll make it called Sloppy Ties. I don't know. let's see if that works. Okay, it works. Sloppy Ties it is. I don't know. I don't have a name for the series, although I will when I upload it. I was thinking maybe like something a little bit comical, like Road to OP, because everybody knows I'm not OP in this game, but I do love playing it. And by the time I get to the place I want to be, my main account will already be much higher. If you guys want to see any more of this content, I know Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out next week. I will be streaming that and everything. We were able to build up $90 in stream to pre-order both games. I intend on playing them through like crazy, so we'll see. But anyways, moving on to this. As everybody who plays Summoners War should know by now, the beginning, you're really just going to get your couple of units. I'm going to go through this as knowledgeable yet entertaining as I can. One of the things you'll see here is it forces you to buy, or to spend the 75 crystals. You will always get the 3 monsters, Fire Hellhound, Water Fairy, Wind Vagabond, all of which you probably won't need. I will be keeping the Fire Hellhound around because it is a pretty good single target nuker and has attack and crit rate buff, which you guys will see later on what that means. I did reset over an account that had some pretty decent reps and friends. So if you guys didn't know, when you reset an account, you keep the reps from the previous account, so you're pretty good on that. So I was just able to stack them up, because this account that was or the account that was what is it called, reset over, was already a level 40 account. I stopped playing it after it maxed out at 40 and everything, so not my main don't worry about that. So we'll probably be using those to get through, but I will still make a side note of different ways you guys can get to the same places I'm getting without having to do it with reps, because I know some people don't have reps, or some people just don't want to see you use reps because things don't fall into place exactly the same. Also, with that being said, I'm not gonna be... Oh, I gotta turn off the sound. Whoopsies, whoopsies, whoopsies. So we're gonna get Vagabond. Yeah, I gotta shut this thing off. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is awful. So we're gonna have to listen to this in the background for just a second, but I didn't even hear that, to be honest. Wow. It's a little bit funny. But yeah, I will not be doing any fusion or, what are they called? Any secret dungeons. My reasoning for that is... Here, let me see if I can turn this down. There you go. My reasoning for that is I know a ton of people really aren't fans of doing secret dungeons because they're like, I can't get that. I can't find that. I'm sitting here today and the light dungeon isn't for another 4 days. What am I gonna do until then? So I'm not gonna put you guys through that. If we get a light Inugami, then we'll work with it. If we get a secret dungeon, we'll work for it, but I'm not gonna be aiming for that. Fusion, I know you guys, the second you hear Veramos pop up, if you don't have one, you're like, oh no. No, like, I'm gonna quit. And I totally understand, and here comes the first... Okay, let's get this off, I need to add blocker, I really do. That's super unprofessional. I'm sorry, this is my first video in over a month. Please forgive me. Hopefully we don't deal with another one for a while. But yeah, we're gonna try and do this without having to rely on things that you guys really don't want to rely on, even though it's extremely important. It's gonna be a lot more difficult, but we're gonna try and get through it. So we're gonna power up here. They do give us the extra fodder. Now you guys should know that all 1-star units are pretty much like you just feed them right into your other units for experience. Now it will come into play later in the game when, for example, if you have 2-star units, you can actually use them to evolve a 2-star max level unit into a 3-star unit, and then you need 3 3-stars to get the 4-star, 4 4-stars to get the 5-star, 5 5-stars to get the 6-star. Early on, it's gonna seem like, are you kidding me? Is that, like, that's impossible. Like, how am I supposed to do that? Later on, you'll understand. You might end up building some units to 5-star you don't even use, and then I know a lot of people say don't fodder away your units that you're using, or like that you've built, but to be honest, I do it. A lot of people have done it, where you build up 5 or 6 5-stars, and then you're like, I don't need these, and then you use some of them for fodder. And you know, a lot of things that, like, you'll see a lot of people go and here, let's get this first day. A lot of people will actually tell you that when you're oh wow, level 2 already. When you're doing your... Oh man, I hit a blank. Oh yeah, when you're doing your 6-stars, you only want to build what you're going to use in each dungeon and everything. I'm kind of letting it flow into place before I do. I know it's going to be a while until we hit our 6-stars. I'm not necessarily saying we'll go in the order of GB10, DB10, TOA, Necro, yada yada yada. I don't know if that's going to be the way it goes. Most likely it will be, because, you know, that just seems like the most understandable thing. Like, that's the easiest form of progression, because everything falls into place the way it would. Let's see. Now, we can collect all of these. Actually, why can't we collect? I guess we've already collected the reward. Either that. Oh yeah, we did. We did collect that reward on my past account. So, whoops. But that's okay. So right now we don't have any scrolls or anything. You guys will see in the future. I'll save up all scrolls for the episode, for the videos, so I won't summon anything off camera. Your unknown scrolls are pretty much going to be your fodder. You'll get your 1-star feed, 2-star to level up and make future fodder, and then maybe even a 3-star. But most of the time it's just going to be food or skill ups. Skill ups is something that will come into play a little bit later. We're just going to try and get past these first couple of minutes, because I know you guys are like dying to see some action, and I want to provide action for y'all. I do not want to give you guys the cold shoulder, if you know what I mean. So I won't be doing a ton of editing unless it has to happen. If there are ever times when you guys can leave in the comments below, would you rather me all my farming that I do, that I can do, record it and then condense it? Because I also have Mobizen off the phone, so I'm not just streaming it. I can actually just record, condense videos of me just running through my energy, speed them up and put them somewhere in the video. I could do that for you guys. It would take a little bit extra work, but I'm willing to do it. Or you know, obviously I could just, here, let's do this. We'll use a ref just for fun. Okay. Yes. Or I could just not do it on camera and kind of just show you guys a checkpoint of what we've gotten since the last time. It's up to you. I honestly don't mind. Either way, I'm just gonna try and see how it plays out, you know, because I have to be committed to this and I have to find enough time and motivation. So you guys are gonna have to motivate me, because I'm so busy with everything that I just want to get content out to you guys. My dream for like the longest time was to be a YouTuber and streamer, and just when things started to come together, I had to halt it for real life, and I want to get back to that. I want to get back to the streamer that I once was, because I know how much work I put into it. I know that my content is quality, so I don't want to throw it off the edge of the cliff every time that I get bored, you know? But anyways, moving on from that. So yeah, early on, like all of you guys are going to have to do, you're going to run through these stages. The form of progression that I would normally say as I level up again is to pretty much, well, first off the bat, collect all your runes. Don't sell any runes right off the bat, because you may need some fillers, you may need some extras, whatnot. You never know. Just keep them. Keep them for the safety. And then we'll throw this guy in here. And you're going to want to go through the first couple of stages really without doing anything else. When it comes time to do giants and things, I will let you know. It's personally, it doesn't matter when you decide to do them, as long as you're making sure that you're doing what you can. So we're gonna let it auto. Auto is probably the only feature in the game that keeps players playing, because the game is an auto game. You're supposed to build your teams and your units to be able to take on stages by themselves, with exception to PvP, some TOA, and maybe some bosses or whatever. But if your team can't auto a certain stage that you're planning on repeating over and over again, you're gonna want to make sure that whatever units those are have to be built for that. They can't just be built to pass a stage, they have to be built to defeat a stage. So that's the tricky part about the game. It does get really fun later on. There does get a lot more things happen. Progression obviously slows down in the future. When I first started playing, it was close to 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, something like that. But when I first started playing, the progression like this, when I first started playing, I was running through stages, destroying everything, and I'm like, dude, honestly, I'm a boss. I'm gonna be able to like get to the top of the rankings. And then I realized that clearing all of these stages is nothing. Like, even if you clear every single scenario stage in this game, you are just still brand new. Like, that's something that you're never gonna go back to after like the first couple of days, unless you're planning on like building up fodder or any skill ups or anything like that, or you know, whatever you're trying to do, level up. Now the important thing is, a lot of people may not know what fodder means. Fodder are things in a couple of different ways. We Summoners War players just generalize it into a compact amount of actual things. The first type of fodder is your level up fodder. It's your 1-stars, it's your Angelmon, things like that. It's used to plug it into your units to level them up so they can get higher level, maxed, or whatever. Your second form of fodder, which really it's all the same, but we just generalize it like I said. Your second form of fodder is the fodder that is meant to evolve your monsters to the next star. So for example, if you have a 4-star unit, you can actually get some garbage 1-star units, feed a couple of 1-stars, then 2-stars and 3-stars to get them to just a 4-star. And then once you have 4 of them, they're used for nothing. They're leveled up. Oh, whoa. We got some lag. They're leveled up purely to be fed away. And then once they're fed away, there you go. You get your 5-star and then you move on with your life. I am getting some pretty significant lag here. Come on, there you go. There you go. So, like I said, I will be doing some stuff off camera eventually, and when that happens, the first couple of times you may not see anything. The next couple of times, I'll make sure to incorporate it into videos if that's what you want. Obviously, I want to keep these videos about 20 minutes. I will make episode 1 about 30 because I know that episode 1 is like the starter. Like, you always need to be able to, like, if I'm gonna entertain you guys and get you guys on edge, I want you guys to at least start off with a big video. One of the things, like, I've watched so many Let's Plays, so many walkthroughs, so many this, that I know what bothers me and what doesn't. And one of the things that bothers me is when I'm starting a series that just started, and episode 1 is 10 minutes of the beginning stuff, and there's nothing else. And then you have to wait the next day or whatever. It fails to retain my attention, as opposed to even like a 30-minute video with nothing significant happening. It at least allows you to kind of get that excitement, like, out of the way, which is obviously a really important thing, because if you're super excited and then you have to wait and you don't know when the next one's coming out, that stuff would obviously bother you. So here's the boss stage. At the end of every scenario, there's a boss stage. They're significant because they drop higher quality runes. They also obviously beat the scenario, and the majority of the scenarios, if I'm not mistaken, do give rewards for beating them now. They didn't used to. When I started playing, there was no reward system for getting through them, but now there's actually a pretty decent one to help you at least know how to progress. In the beginning, this game did a terrible job of telling you, hey, this is what you gotta do to get to this level. There was no, like, guidance. And then the more people started to realize, oh crap, there's 6-month veteran players who can't get to Giants B8, and then they're like, okay, we need to start doing some stuff, because they're flat ruining plus 15, like crap like that. Like, the runes are plus 15 flat HP on an attacking unit, just garbage. So right here, we're gonna auto this just for fun, or I mean manual, excuse me, sorry. Now, one of the things is you always want to build for skill, not whether they're attack or HP or defense. So for example, you can see here, this has a chance to break the defense, and this has a chance to break the attack. Now, we're more worried about killing as fast as possible, so we tried to break the defense, didn't necessarily work. Your teams are going to be widely used on based on what skills they do. Freezes with a 20% chance. I don't believe that works on this boss, so it doesn't really matter. We didn't get to break the defense again, and again, one of the most important, oh, we did freeze. One of the most important things you can do is build units that have the correct skill sets, rather than the correct the correct build, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want an attack, HP, healer, whatever. You want something that does something. You want to get the most turns. Usually it goes in variants of, you want to do the most damage power, you want to have the most turns, and you want to have the most heals, but not necessarily in that order. In fact, most times people will go off the basis of, you want to get as many turns as you can, then the rest of them don't matter. So this game is basically widely based on how many turns can a person get throughout the course of their game experience. So you want to try and remove their turns, stun them, slow them, whatever, and buff up your speed and your turns as much as possible. We'll get into what speed plays, but it is a pretty large thing. Now, Elephant Ranger is what you get for clearing the first scenario. I've never been able to use this thing to its full potential, but we'll take a look at it, only because I think it should be kind of addressed, at least. We should get a little bit out of it. So here, we'll grab this. We get 3 crystals now. In terms of crystals, a lot of people will tell you maybe you should do this or that with crystals. The biggest thing is save them up until you know what you really want. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your crystals because they're your crystals, but if you want to know how to progress the most in this game, the best way to do that, the absolute best way to do that, is to save them up and use them to refill your energy to go through the scenarios that you're doing. Now, there are certain times when you can buy premium packs for 750 crystals, which sounds like a lot, but trust me, it does come by pretty often. This, even early on. So, it gives you 11 mystical scrolls. Mystical scrolls are 3 to 5 star units. Some 3-star units are good, some are not. Your goal is to at least get about a 4-star from everyone. 5-star pulls are extremely rare. They're very good monsters generally. There's a few of them that won't be very useful early on or in certain parts of the stage or of the game, which makes this game really interesting. There's no best unit because every unit can be beaten. There's no overpower, there's nothing that is just too good to take part. So the way like I said, going back to when I mentioned earlier, you want to build based on their skill sets. This fairy is actually an attack based monster. Now it does heal, but it heals based on your attack power, although we do only have HP, and these are awful runes, but we're gonna put them on there because the game wants us to, and I'm not gonna complain. Now we could put them on either one of these, but he's an attacker unit. He could have a little bit more HP, but there's no reason to, and I'll show you guys why in a little bit. There's another rune set that's more useful for him than it's a 4 set. Fatal has plus 35% attack, as this has plus 15% HP. The nice thing about this is it can stack up to 3 times because there's 6 slots and it's only a 2 set. So we're gonna max this out just because everybody does that. You know, obviously I'm not doing anything that you can't find anywhere else on the internet. So in terms of whether or not I want to upgrade these, upgrading these, the way I usually do this is 2, 4, or right here, 2, the 4 slot is empty, and the 6 slot are always, or have a chance, are the only thing that are gonna have percent stats. You always want percent over flat. 1, 3, and 5 will never have percent. They will always be attack, defense, HP. This could be speed, which is always gonna be flat. It could be HP, defense, attack, and then this one could be accuracy, resistance, I believe, yeah, attack, HP, defense, and then 4 it could be crit rate, crit damage, attack, defense, HP, and then substats come into play. We'll get into all that stuff when it needs to happen. I don't want to bore you guys or confuse you guys, so don't worry about any of that. I'm just kind of bearing my surroundings, trying to understand where I'm at so I can explain it a little bit better for you guys. So here you can see there's a lot of stuff that you can get through here that you're probably going to end up picking up at some point. The packages, these are mostly all spending. I'm not going to tell you guys not to spend on this game because, to be honest, it's your money again, and I have spent on this game, not a ridiculous amount, but if you want to spend money, nobody's stopping you. I'm not stopping you. I'm not one of those people who think that spending money in a game is awful. I think it's just, it's fun, you know? You spend your money on things you want. If this is what you want, that's fine. This is the place where a lot of your good stuff's gonna happen. The nickname change, you never need that. That's just a little bit excessive. Nobody's really gonna get you to use that, but if you want to, perfectly up to you. Experience boosters, they come in 3-day and 1-day. You're never really gonna need a 3-day, and you might not even need a 1-day based on the events. You get so many of them, sometimes you waste them, but they are great for fodder farming and building up your units. So if you ever want to, I'd say go for the 1-day. The 3 days is a little bit excessive, but it does only cost an extra 100 crystals. So if you're planning on spending a lot of energy, it could be a good idea. Premium pack is what everybody goes for. People spend their life earnings, not really, but they spend a lot of money and resources to get these. Early on, it's okay to get a couple, because you might get a couple 4 stars, you may even get a 5-star, but you'll get a ton of 3 stars. Some you may use, some you may fodder, some you may use as skill ups. This is a smaller package, although, you know, it's mostly for people who are really summon happy and need to like summon something. So it's not, I mean, it's really up to you. This game is all about you and the way you want to progress, not the way somebody else does. Don't listen to what anybody else has to say, but always take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying if somebody says build this because it's going to help you, don't say no. That's not true. What I'm saying is don't build your game based on what other people say, because what's the point? But always be like, okay, he said the water fairy does this, so I could incorporate that into my team, but not necessarily the way that he wants to. That's the beauty of it. So we did pick up the Elven Ranger. His skill sets are a little bit weird. They're a little bit difficult to manage. Third skill is aims at a target to deal substantial damage. So it's a pretty good nuking hit. If the enemy is frozen, stunned, or asleep, the damage is increased by 50%. So you want to make sure that he's partnered with her because she does have a chance to freeze, which is nice. So it's not a high chance, but it could be a viable thing. Second skill attacks an enemy, stunning it for 1 turn with a 30% chance. If the target is stunned, you get another turn. So he is a combo monster. If you stun him with this move, you get another chance. You save this shot, and it's GG. So the chance is a little bit low. You're not going to get it every time, but it could be nice. And then rapidly fires 2 shots. May fire an additional shot, and the additional shot is equivalent to your critical rate. So a higher critical rate is better off anyways, because that allows you to do crit damage. One of the things that I found out with nuking and extremely powerful units, you can fill up as much attack as you want, but the real damage is going to come from the crit damage, and you need about 70% crit rate to have a constant crit damage. So from what I've seen, could be different. So the next place we're going to go is Mount Sis. The Water Magic Knight is probably the most fundamentally staple thing that you can get in your early Summoner's War career, because it has everything you could ask for. It has 2 full team attack skills, so you can hit, or actually 3, so you can hit all the units once at least. The second skill is it's random, but it attacks more than one enemy. And then she's pretty tanky early on, and she's a water monster, which is built, in my opinion, they did that perfectly for one of the most popular farming areas, Famon. We'll get into that later. But anyways, we will go into the first, and really, we can kind of choose what units we're going to use. I'm going to take him out. Honestly, he has a defense break and attack break, which is useful, but it's not going to be as fun. I use him a lot, and really, if we need him, we'll put him in, but he probably won't last very long. So we'll test out the other guy. We're going to go ahead and kill, obviously, and there's no freeze there. That's perfectly fine. We'll just go through the motions like we normally would. And let's see. All right, so he might kill. He probably would kill, yeah. So he killed, which means we will not be able to stun this turn. If we did, though, we would get another one, and I'd be able to show you why he's used. You know, I mean, it's not a real big thing. A lot of people are not going to build him because he's not super useful. He's interesting, but not super useful. So no freeze again. It's pretty low chance, but we'll get through this. Like I said, off camera tonight, I'll probably run through the energy, clear out a couple of things, and then come back and show you guys, because I don't think you need to see every one of these scenarios. Most of these scenarios you could do on your own. So here we go. We actually got the stun. We get the second turn, and we'll hit again, and that did a pretty decent amount of damage. So he can pretty much one-shot depending on that. And the Fatal Rune, it's attack 35%. Maybe I said 45%. I meant 35%. It's a 4-set rune, and that'll go on our attacking units. Probably, I'd put the first set on the Fire Hellhound. The second set that I get could probably go on the Elven Ranger. Although I want a crit rate slot 4 rune, and I'm just gonna go as high as I want with it. Generally, the rule of thumb is, a lot of people like to say different things for different star runes. They go up to 1 to 6 star, as well as the units. For 1 to 3 star runes, I will go usually up to +6. It's a maximum of +15 in terms of your power up. For 4 star runes, I'll go up to +9. For 5 star runes, I'll go up to +12, and unless I'm really, really desperate. And then for 6 star runes, I'll go to +15. Obviously, you can do some changing around if you feel necessary, but that's just the rule of thumb that a lot of efficient players will do. So, I mean, again, take everything with a grain of salt. If you decide, heck no, I don't want to do that, I'm going to +15 my 1 star rune because I want to, and nobody's going to tell me what I want except myself. Then, you know what? By all means, go ahead and do it. It's not going to affect my progression, so I don't care. If you're not worried about progression, you can always do things. The one thing about Summoner's War players that I absolutely can't stand, no offense to you guys, but you're always trying to help somebody based on progression. Now, most of the time, you're going to do it for the right reason, because most of the time people want to progress. But when some people say, oh, this monster sucks, this monster's not good, you shouldn't be 6-starring a farmer, you shouldn't be 6-starring this, you shouldn't be spending your crystals on this. They just want to assume that you want to progress. Sometimes people just want to build 6 stars for 6 months straight and then try and build a team or whatever. And if you want to progress, then obviously getting help to progress is the right thing. But when somebody says, yeah, I want to build Julian 6-star, and they're like, no, you don't want to build Julian, he's not going to help you. He will help you in terms of what you want to do, and he might even be fun, but even though he's not going to help you with giants or dragons or whatever, I mean, lay off. Let the people do what they want to do. Now, if the person genuinely wants to progress, obviously help them, but the common misconception is that everybody just wants to make every move to progress, and sometimes people really don't. I know people who have spent the last 4 or 5 months at the same stage, just doing the same things, and they're fine, because there comes a part about mid-game, and then another one from late mid-game, early end-game, where people get stuck for a long time, because there's no progression rate, because you need to start from scratch. After you get to Giant Speed 10, I believe once you can clear Giant Speed 10 on auto, that signifies that you are starting mid-game, in my opinion. And after that, you have a really, really flat space of time, because afterwards, you're not doing anything. Like, for the next, 3 or 4 months, you're just building new monsters and forming runes and things for your next progression level. So between then, there's not a lot going on. And then you get another one once you clear all your dungeons and things and you're trying to go into PvP. Then you realize, oh crap, I'm stuck, and I have to just farm units, or farm runes and things. So anyways, it is 30 minutes. I don't want to totally go crazy on you guys, so we have a couple of unknown skulls. We'll summon them for fun. Our first one, obviously fodder, another fodder, and water hellhound. Now we'll do this later. Now the water hellhound is kind of cool, but we don't need it. It's a 2-star. It's absolutely useless. What we could do instead is we could save him, so that the smart move would be to save him. So when fire hellhound gets maxed to 20, we could use him in another 2-star and turn him into a 3-star, and he would get a skill up out of it. Same monsters, it doesn't matter what element they are, same monsters always give skill ups, and skill ups are immensely important. If you guys want to see the skill up chart, where to find it, you can check on your own monsters where, but over here, for example, he needs a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe that's 6. Or, yeah, that's 6. So 6 plus 4, he needs 10 skill ups, plus he'll be getting this new skill here. I think it only needs 1, so maybe 11 in total. So you do want to put as many hellhounds into him as you can, which is extremely easy. One of the easiest monsters to skill up in the game. Also, if you're wondering, oh well, I don't want to fodder away good monsters to my other ones to skill up, there's also something called Devilmon, but they're extremely rare, so I would never use them on anything that is easily obtainable. Maybe a great 4-star or a 5-star. That's the only thing I would use it on. So we're gonna pretty much end off this episode. I know it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty entertaining in my opinion. It's nice to be back. We're already past 30 minutes, so wow. But we'll be uploading. Make sure you guys stay tuned, and please leave any feedback. I know I really, really need it, because I need to kind of start my channel up again, start being active again, and it's important to me. It really is important to me. So if you guys have enjoyed this, if you guys have any tips, criticism, info, questions, anything, even if it's not related to Summoner's War, let me know. I am an open book, and I'm trying to kind of revitalize this channel because it is my lifeline. It meant so much to me. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you had as much fun as I had. I'm sure that we will have so many more things coming up. This game is going to get only better. If you guys aren't interested now, just wait a little bit. Trust me, it gets very, very fun later on. I will be doing some off-screen energy draining just so I can get it out of the way, and then I'll jump on my main and do some things there. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Stay classy. Peace out.